Good evening. My name is Sean. I have 4 children, 3 of which will be attending South Lebanon Elementary this year. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak here tonight, and I want to thank you for the current health and safety plan of making masking optional. The flu is actually more dangerous than COVID is for children and poses about the same risk to adults.
And now I'm going to ask Catherine Miller to come to the podium, please.
I will start off by saying that spreading medical disinformation is disrespectful. I'm going to start off reading some headlines. I'm Catherine Miller. I live in Cornwall. 2 days into a school year, 440 students in a Florida school district are quarantined. A parent sent their child to school after a positive COVID-19 test. More than 80 students have been exposed. School is back, and thousands of students are already in quarantine after being exposed to COVID-19. Coronavirus cases surge, forcing schools to close. This is real. As the Delta variant surges, some experts worry we may be entering the most dangerous moment in the pandemic for children. New COVID cases in the U.S. soar 700% week over week since July 1st, the CDC says. More than 470 COVID cases and 1,000 quarantine after the first week of school in a Florida community. Pennsylvania coronavirus update, 12,000 additional cases reported in a week and hospitalizations triple in a month. The 7-day moving average is now 656% over the last 30 days. No pediatric ICU beds left in Dallas amid the COVID surge. An elementary school teacher was beaten on the first day of school of the new semester by a father angry about a mask mandate. Breaking society apart, unvaccinated people are angry as they face more COVID restrictions. What do we know about young children and their risk of COVID-19? Right now we're flying the plane and we're still building it. I could go on all night with these headlines. Dr. Dominicek, my husband called you today and spoke with you at some length about his concerns for a reopening with no mitigation strategy. I listened in and had some concerns about your reasoning for not implementing the mask mandate. Using a false equivalence, you compared the, in your words, relatively low number of pediatric deaths due to COVID to the number of people who commit suicide every year in Pennsylvania and the occurrence of death due to car accidents. The usage of your opinion and logical fallacies to create policy are in direct contradiction with the expectations that we all have as parents from a superintendent with a PhD. Furthermore, you said your job is to keep people safe. That's one thing we agree on, but unfortunately, you're more interested in keeping 97 respondents to a simple opinion poll happy than you are about keeping 4,798 children alive and safe from the long-term effects of COVID. Why? Because those 97 respondents align with your own political beliefs. 34% of your respondents wanted a mandate out of only 148 responses. 65 did not. That's not enough to make a policy. Given the size of our district, your poll's results are not statistically significant. We're talking about nearly 5,000 children. This isn't about health or safety or science for you, it's about politics. You also stated on the phone that you weren't sure if you could enforce a mask mandate if the state doesn't have one. Many school districts implement very strict dress codes based on the following code, section 510 of PA Public School Code, which states that the school boards, and I quote, may adopt and enforce such rules and regulations as it may deem necessary and proper regarding the conduct and deportment of all pupils attending public schools in the district. So there you go. There's your permission. The following is an excerpt taken directly from the CLSD Student Policies page entitled Dress and Grooming. The board will not interfere with the rights of students and their parents to make decisions regarding their appearance, except when their choices affect the educational program of the schools or the health and safety of others. Finally, you boasted about how low your COVID numbers were for CLSD last year, and that's because everybody was masked. It's that simple. There can be no rights without responsibilities, so keep politics out of our schools and do your job.